What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's episode, we are going to start reassembling Arnie. I've already started a few things. I'll catch you guys up to speed and we'll go from there. So here we are, guys. We got the chassis in the nice gloss, semi-gloss black. I got all my brake lines run. I got my shocks put on. I got my power steering cooler on. And so we started plugging away at the Cummins here. I took the motor mounts off. We got the motor mounts over here. I just put a coat of paint on it, first coat. I'll put another one on here in about 10-15 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna peel off the timing cover, take these pulleys off again, take the timing cover off, because now I finally got my killer dowel pin fixed. So we're gonna install that guy and put a new gasket on here. We're gonna drain the oil out. We're gonna take the oil pan off. We're gonna put a new oil pan gasket on there. When I first originally did this, I kind of set it on the oil drain plug and it kind of dented that in. I think it's leaking a little bit of oil, so now is the time to do that. Yeah, we'll hoist this thing up. We'll take the timing cover off. Okay guys, timing cover gasket, or timing cover plate is off rather. And we installed the killer dowel pin block off there. This thing gets torqued to 216 inch-pounds or 18 foot-pounds. So we're gonna reinstall the timing cover plate, start working on getting the oil pan off. Okay guys, fast forward a little bit. We got the timing cover all on. We got it all torqued to spec. 18 foot-pounds, the same. Every 10mm bolt on these Cummins is 18 foot-pounds or 216 inch-pounds. So we got the oil pan off. Don't know if you can see that, but we got the oil pan off. Got all the oil drained out of it. Got the oil pan sitting over here. As you can see, where the drain plug goes, this is kind of sticking up a bit, so I'm going to pound that thing flat. And then we're gonna clean that thing up, give it a coat of paint, let it dry overnight, and we'll just leave the Cummins hanging on the forklift here. I got a telepost to stop it from bottoming out and damaging the pickup tube. We're making progress. My goal is to get everything painted. I want painted so that tomorrow we can put the tranny on the back of the Cummins, and then the goal is to get the engine and everything back into the frame. Drive shafts installed, all that fun stuff. We're gonna keep plugging away here tonight, get that oil pan pounded straight and get it painted up, and then we'll catch you guys in the morning. Okay, it is the next day and we got all of our painted parts. They're all nice and dry. Here's the oil pan, turned out really nice. Then our motor mounts, our bolts, some pulleys, all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to install the oil pan. I got a new oil pan gasket over here. So we're going to install that guy and then get all the pulleys on. And then hopefully today we are going to get the transmission mounted, the transfer case mounted. And my goal is to have it sitting inside the frame. That would be a productive day. And then obviously we got to clean up the shop. The shop is an absolute disaster. But anyways, let's get to it. Okay guys, we got the pulleys on. They're torqued to spec. And then I got the old gasket off on the bottom of the oil pan. Got it all cleaned up. I used a flat razor. But yeah, there's the inside of a 12-valve Cummins. In case you never seen one, I've never seen one. Yeah, there you go. So anyways, we're gonna get the gasket put on the pan, and then we'll get the pan put on and we'll torque that thing down. Okay guys, we got the oil pan gasket on, and it's a 4-piece gasket, which I think is super stupid. But anyways, we got RTV between the gasket and the oil pan, and RTV on top of the gasket to mate to the block. I'll get that thing installed and we'll go from there. All right, so we're making some progress. We got the 12 valve mated to the NV5600, and we got the transfer case installed. We're getting ready to lift this thing into the frame. I just taped this gasket up. It kept falling off, so I got it seated, and then I just put some tape on it. So here we got to put our motor mounts here. So we'll get those guys installed, and then we'll chain this thing up and we'll hoist it into the frame finally. Okay, so we got the Cummins sitting in the frame here. Everything's loose right now. Motor mounts are loose. These bolts are loose as well as these ones. This one's not sitting quite right just yet. What we're going to do is we're going to chain it up from the front. And this is our deciding factor as to where the transmission mount is. It's like, I don't know, about an inch. It's got to go an inch more backwards. So I'm going to pick it up from the front and then just poke it this way. And then I'll tighten these bolts. I'm going to lift the weight off of the frame, and then I'm going to tighten down these guys. And as soon as those are tight, then I'm going to wrench these guys down, just so everything's square and sitting the way it should be. So let's hook it up on the front, and we'll grab it with the forklift, and then our Cummins will be sitting in the frame. All right, so fast forward, we got the Cummins inside the frame. It's all bolted down. It was a little bit of a Mickey Mouse operation. Had to lift it a few times to make sure that it was sitting perfectly straight with the motor mounts. Got the motor mounts all tightened up, transmissions tightened up, and so we can start installing the drive shafts, hanging the fuel tank, and then essentially start working on the cab. The cab, we're going to weld some holes up that are open so that the air isn't coming through there. Probably get that painted, the firewall. Also, there's the rad support we need work on. We need to hang the intercooler. I never finalized the bottom mounts for the intercooler, but we should have that all wrapped up. We'll get the inner fenders painted, and then after that, after it's all kill matted and the carpet's in the interior, we'll put the cab on top of there. We'll do all the wiring, put the front clip back on, and then install the box. And yeah, I don't know how long that's going to take, probably 2 or 3 weeks, but we're making progress here. Cummins is in there, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so about a week has passed since I've been in the shop. I know it was a second for you guys, but anyways, this is where we are at. I took my cab and we filled all the holes on the firewall that we aren't using. We threw some satin gloss black on there. I have the interior completely gutted. Took the seat out. I took all the gauges, all the wiring, everything's removed. We're going to start getting this thing ready to have the carpet and the kill mat and all of that installed. Today, I think what we're going to be doing is we're going to be filling our transmission with fluid. I got 7 quarts. It calls for 4.75 quarts, but on certain forms and everything, it says to add 2 extra quarts. So we have 7 quarts there. And then our engine has no oil in it as of right now, so we're going to get that thing topped up. I might do the new gaskets as well. We'll set you guys up. I think I'm going to focus on getting the cab mounted on top of the chassis. That'll look good. But before I do that, before it's easier to do, I'll just take this off and then I'll pour the fluid inside there. So that will be done. So yeah, I'll catch you guys back up when we're at that point. Okay, we got the transmission full of fluid. I put 7 quarts in there. It called for 4.75, but lots of guys recommend to go to 6 or 7. So we did 7. And so now with the oil, we're gonna fill the oil. I got a measuring bucket here, 4 liters. It says to do 11.4 liters with the oil filter, and to fill the oil filter first, I'm going with a 5W40 premium synthetic. So we'll get the oil filter back off. I just put it on just so it was on there, and we'll fill that up, and then we'll fill up the engine with oil, and then we'll have all of our fluids ready to go. So we got all the fluids in the transmission, all the fluids in the 12 valve Cummins, and now we are working on prepping our cab to get installed. I got a bunch of bits and pieces that were kind of rusty looking. I thought I'd just shoot a quick coat of paint on them so everything's nice and painted and black. So we're gonna wait for that to dry, and in the meantime, I'm gonna start working on my seat bracket that I built. It was never painted. I got where the center console is gonna go, so I'm gonna cut off this excess metal, kind of smooth it up, and then get that thing printed in black. Okay, fast forward a few hours, and this is where we're at. I've got the cab completely gutted. I got we thought it was gutted before, but now it's even more gutted. I got the dash pad off. I got the glove box off. Yeah, a few extra things. My idea is this guy here. We're gonna paint these sides black up to here and down, just the kick panels, because on this side, we had to do some repair metal here. That was a while back. But anyways, yeah, we had to do some repair metal there. And so it'd be nice to be painted in here. So I'm gonna paint this satin black up to here. We're gonna keep the dash original. But here's something that I'm considering. So being in this truck for long periods of time, hauling cars and stuff, we want tunes. There's no stereo in here right now, but I did create this bezel that it can go there, and you can cut all that stuff out. You can relocate these. We have the option to relocate these 3 switches to right here, because this is a choke cable that's not used. I just kept it there because it's cool and looks original. This is original lighter. This is my trailer tow haul, a little red arc button. But anyways, I 3D printed this, designed this and 3D printed it, and it would allow for a double din deck to go there. So I'm considering that. I might build it out of steel, I'm not sure, but part of me doesn't want to cut the dash because it's old, and old is cool. But anyways, let me know your comments below. If you think I should put in a double din deck, it'd be nice to have tunes, possibly a reverse camera. But anyways, yeah, we're getting this ready to paint the firewall, because like that's raw steel, that's got to get painted. And there's some other stuff from modifying or whatever. So we got to paint that, we got to cover that up. So there's the dash pad we got out. It's pretty ratched. I actually have a black one over here. So it's a little bit better. It's not perfect, but it's got a crack. But I'm gonna put this carpet on there anyways because I like it. But we'll clean that up and we'll spray it with a vinyl fabric paint. And then we got my seat bracket here. Is all painted up. It's almost dry, but it'll be dry here in the next couple days. Here's all the interior parts that I got laying on the frame here. So we'll clean all those up before they go back in. Even like the heater box, I'll throw a coat of paint on that guy. So we're getting close to doing all the kill mat and the carpet, as well as all the weather stripping for the doors. I already peeled the weather stripping off of the door here. But we're gonna have to open these guys up. We're gonna to get the anti-rattle. I got all new anti-rattle, I got new gaskets. This butterfly is a little bit crunchy here, but I have some other butterfly windows from a 68 Mercury sitting on the yard. I want to try and retain this because this is 67 Ford only. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. I'm going to spend a little bit of time cleaning up my shop, getting things in order. I would have really liked to get the cab on in this video, but reality is there's lots of little things that we're always screwing around with that is time consuming. Like the trans tunnel here, I spent probably 5 hours modifying this. It was kind of jank, but now when I use a seam sealer, it's going to seal all up. So that's nice. I redid this. This isn't functional, but it's the original fuel selector switch. And so I got that thing working. So we'll keep that in the truck so it's looking original. I always like the original look of the truck. That's why I'm strongly considering not cutting into my dash, just to keep it original. And I do actually have a Bluetooth knob stereo that we could do, but anyways, I want to do speakers and possibly subs in the back here. And then I'm not sure where to run like a 6.5 inch. I don't really want to cut into the door. It's too mint. Let me know your guys' ideas down below. So that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. If you made it this far in the video, that means you're liking what you're seeing. So do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma. And until the next time, peace.